Hey, how's it going? So today I'm coming to you with day number 25 inside of a 30-day video challenge. And the thing that I want to talk about today is which traffic objective should you use. So today is Thursday, and one of the first things I had to do this morning is I had to get ready for two podcasts. I had two different podcast interviews that I was going to be doing today. And as I was going through the pre-interview process, it was just interesting to kind of just watch both of the hosts and the way that they position the podcast, the way that they position the questions, and some of the things that they wanted to be able to convey to the audience. The first person that I had the opportunity to interview with, that person also invited me to speak on via a conference. This person is going to be having an in-person conference later on this year, and this person invited me, to speak. So prior to us going live on a podcast, we were having a conversation, and I was just sharing with this individual that, hey, I have a signature piece of content that I created, and if you want, I can go ahead and share that signature piece of content with your audience today. I gave this person an overview of the signature piece of content. She was like, that is an amazing piece of content, and I like the way that you position a piece of content. We should definitely talk about it. Now, what I meant to ask this person is okay, do you want me to talk about it via your podcast show? Or is this something that you want me to save to be able to talk about when I speak at your in-person conference? I meant to ask this person that, but I didn't. So then we go on and we start the interview process. And one of the things that this person was very interested in pulling out different pieces of my stories in ways that's going to communicate to the audience, to try and communicate to the audience based on the audience's beliefs and based on some of the pitfalls some of the people who may be listening to me maybe having and or maybe going through. I thought it was very interesting. And, she told me that usually her interviews are usually about 30 minutes or so. So we go and we're about 25 minutes in or so. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I haven't talked about my 4-step process. I haven't talked about my signature content. She's asking me some amazing and some very engaging type of questions, but we didn't get to the point. And, at about the 27 minute mark, she goes and she says, hey, I know that you have this framework that you use as a micro commitment strategy, that you use. And I just want you to just tell us about it from a high level standpoint. And I said, hey, you know what? It takes me about 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes or so to talk about this component. Would you like for me to share it now? She's like, you know what? How about you just tell us what it is from a high level standpoint? And then you can go ahead and that can be something that you talk about when you do your presentation in person. I was just amazed as to how she was able to, without us even planning it, to be honest with you, how she was able to have me to plant the seed, not only plant the seed, but create a hook so that the people who listen to my episode, they can have something to look forward to. I love the fact that she was able to create that level of anticipation, and because anticipation is something that we desire, right? It's like, okay, he just talked about part 1, now he's going to be talking about part 2. I think that was very, very clever how she did that. Now, my second interview that I had, that person was more so looking at it from a technical standpoint. So from a technical standpoint, if I'm looking to run a marketing campaign, I'm looking to use Facebook ads to run a marketing campaign, this is my individualized situation. So let's walk through the scenario based on the question that I got in this podcast. This person told me that, hey, they've been building an audience. So they've been building an audience. They have let's just use Facebook page as the asset. They have a Facebook business page. They have about, 6,000 people on that Facebook business page. They know that from an organic standpoint that when they publish content, only a handful of those individuals have the ability to see the content. And because only a handful of those individuals have the ability to see the content, what are some of the things that, they can do to be able to reach more of those audiences? So then one of the things that I talked to her about is the fact that when you're running a marketing campaign, when you're running a Facebook ad, Facebook has many different objectives. They have a reach objective, they have a traffic objective. They have all of these different objectives that you can use. And when you already have an audience and you simply just want to be able to reach the audience that you already have and you've captured the data, you can simply use the reach objective. So in her case, she's going to go inside of the Facebook ad platform. She's going to create the content that she wants to be able to reach. She wants to be able to use to reach her audience, and she's going to use the reach objective to be able to reach those individuals. What does this mean, for you? For you that's listening to this, you want to get in a position where you start to collect data as quickly and as soon as possible. What do I mean by collecting data? Let's just say that you have a website right now, and currently you're not running any paid ads to that landing page, or you're not running any paid ads to that website. You want to make sure that you start to collect data. What type of data do you want to collect? You want to collect data to be able to understand all of the people who visits that site, because then you can use that data later on to remarket and to market to those individuals. You can put in a Facebook pixel on that page, and when you put a Facebook pixel on that page, let's just say that you don't plan on running traffic for another year, but every single day, every other day, every week, people are going to be coming to that site. Well, a year from now, 6 months from now, 7 months from now, when it's time for you to market, you're going to be able to use some of that data to be able to market to, so that way you're not necessarily starting from scratch. So the individual that I was speaking to earlier via the podcast, this person already has 5,000 in their case, 5,000 people that is already connected to them via their business page. So because they already have that audience, now all of a sudden they can go ahead and reach that audience by using an objective and by using a Facebook ad objective. And the objective that they want to be able to use is they want to be able to use the reach objective. So if you already have an audience, you can use the reach objective to be able to reach those people very easily. If you don't already have, an audience, you want to make sure that if you don't already have data, you want to make sure that at every point you give yourself the ability to be collecting data. Facebook page, Facebook business page is you collecting data, because Facebook's going to be able to know who those individuals are. If you have a landing page, if you have a website, make sure that a pixel is there to be able to capture the data. So from an objective standpoint, that's one of the objectives that you can use, and that's how you can go ahead and use that objective. If you happen to be catching this live, do me a favor and hit pound live. And if you happen to be catching this via the replay, do me a favor and hit pound replay. So that's day number 25 inside of a 30-day video challenge. That's all I have for you for now. I'll talk to you soon.